Hello! Welcome to Tommy Talks Telly. This week I'm going to review Daredevil. In 1964, Stan Lee, Bill Everett and Jack Kirby created Daredevil. The basic premise for the comic book focuses on the blind lawyer Matt Murdock, because justice is blind. Get it? Who at night protects the streets of Hell's Kitchen, New York's equivalent to Salford, as the masked vigilante Daredevil. 51 years later? Is it 51? 1964. 2015. Yeah, it's 51. I can do math. Netflix have finally released a long-awaited series of Daredevil, but is it any good? Yeah, it is. Needless to say, spoilers ahead. So don't get eggy with me if you watch this video and it ruins the show for you.
How old were you when you got blinded?
9.
What next?
I hear things.
They call stuff like that gifts.
Daredevil was released on the 10th of April 2015, and quite frankly, it was a big bloody hit. All 13 episodes were released on the same day, which meant you could watch all 13 in one big binge. It took me 2 weeks to watch it. I've got things to do.
Violent.
Now, most people will remember the previous attempt to make this into a franchise, and that was in 2003 with Ben Affleck.
He can hear it before it makes a sound.
The 2015 version is a lot more serious and a lot more gritty in tone, which is true to the spirit of the original source material, which means you don't get scenes like this.
Miles, and he couldn't use him because her septic nerve was acting. So I said,
Gotta love Colin Farrell in that film. First off, you have Foggy and Karen. I kind of thought they were going to be really boring supporting characters. You had them going off their own little mission behind Matt Murdock's back, whilst on the other hand you had Matt Murdock going off fighting crime as Daredevil, and actually it made for a very interesting dynamic.
Our practice is relatively young, Miss Page, and we are aggressively pursuing new clientele.
Who the hell are you guys?
I'm Matt. He's Foggy.
How long have you been practicing law?
About 7 hours.
The two characters actually brought in some much needed comedy into such a dark series.
I'm just trying to make my city a better place.
I've got to say, I found Matt Murdock to be really boring and found scenes that featured him to drag really badly.
You can't give in to the fear.
What are you gonna do?
Whatever it takes.
But you're blind.
There are other ways to see.
The one interesting thing about the character of Daredevil that I found in this series was the parallels between him and the big bad guy of the series, and that was the Kingpin, or Wilson Fisk.
Who do you work for?
Oh my God. The city needs to die before it can be reborn.
Both Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk had very similar motives. They both wanted to protect New York, especially Hell's Kitchen, because it was their home. But of course, they both go about it in different ways. One of the benefits to having a series rather than a movie to tell this story in is that you have time to develop both the characters and explore their backstory. Both Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk have whole episodes dedicated to telling their origin stories. My favourite being the Wilson Fisk episode. Seriously, he's the best thing about this show. He was a badass in Spider-Man the animated series, and he's a badass in this as well.
Now I was all alone. I realized I was going to have to learn to survive or be destroyed. And I did learn. By the time I got out, I had acquired all the skills needed to begin building my criminal empire.
That guy in the mask, he saved my life.
I'm just trying to make my city a better place.
And at first you kind of think that the blindfold and the black costume, you think it's just going to be 1 or 2 episodes and then the real costume's going to appear. But actually it takes 12, 13 episodes before you see the proper red horns. You really feel like he's earned the costume. And there's a story reason for it as well, you know, it's body armour. It helps protect him when he's fighting crime at night.
I'm gonna make you pay for what you've done. I respect your conviction.
There's actually a scene in episode 2 where a character says, he says to Matt Murdock, "I don't like the costume." And it's kind of Marvel's way of hinting that, you know, to the audience, don't worry, you will get the proper costume soon, just wait. And we did, and it was good.
The explosion stunned Hell's Kitchen earlier tonight.
You think Fisk had something to do with this?
I do. What are we supposed to do against somebody that owns everything, everyone?
So leave a comment, let me know if you agree or disagree with anything that I've said. Are you looking forward to the Defenders? Who's a better Daredevil, Charlie Cox or Ben Affleck? Let me know.